There's a reason grown men stop walking when an old truck rumbles by. It's not the paint, it's not the chrome, it's that sound, the lopey idle, the deep exhaust note that rattles windows and raises the hairs on your arm. Somewhere in the chase for quiet, comfortable, computer-controlled perfection, we lost it. But these 10 trucks never got the memo. They still roar, clatter, and thunder like nothing built today. Crank the volume. This is what trucks are supposed to sound like. Number 10. The 1945-1980 Dodge Power Wagon. We start with the truck that basically invented the idea of the civilian off-road workhorse. The Dodge Power Wagon rolled out to the public in 1945, built directly on the bones of Dodge's World War II military trucks. This wasn't a lifestyle vehicle. This was a rolling tool, a truck farmers, loggers, and utility crews genuinely depended on. And it stayed in production, in one form or another, all the way to 1980. Under that tall, upright hood sat a Flathead inline-6, a 230 cubic inch L-head engine with all the drama of a slow, deliberate heartbeat. And that's exactly why it sounds so good. This engine wasn't built to rev, it was built to pull, to lug, to grind up a muddy hill at barely above idle without a complaint. So the sound it makes is this low, unhurried, thudding growl. Every combustion stroke feels like you can count it individually. There's a purity to it. No turbo whistle, no electronic wastegate flutter, no fake exhaust note. Just a big, slow-turning 6 pushing air through a simple cast-iron manifold. When a power wagon crawls past you at a show, you don't just hear it. You feel the ground carry the vibration up through your boots. The modern Ram Power Wagon that wears the name today is a genuinely capable machine, with a 6.4-liter Hemi V8 making serious power. But it's smooth, it's insulated, it's designed so you barely notice the engine is running. The original had none of that polish, and that's the point. It sounds like work. It sounds like an era when a truck was a promise that the job would get done, no matter what. That honest mechanical grumble is why the Power Wagon earns the number 10 spot. Number 9. The GMC Magnum V6. Here's one most people have never even heard of. And that's a shame, because it might be the strangest sounding truck engine General Motors ever built. From 1960 through 1978, GMC did something almost nobody else did in America. They built their own family of big V6 engines, completely separate from the V8s everyone else was chasing. This was the GMC V6, sometimes called the Magnum, and it came in a wild range of sizes: 305, 351, 401, and even a massive 478 cubic inches. These were 60-degree V6 engines with huge displacement, built like industrial equipment, and they went into GMC pickups, big trucks, and commercial rigs. Why does it sound so unique? A V6 has a fundamentally different exhaust rhythm than a V8. Where a V8 gives you that even, syncopated rumble everyone knows, GMC's big V6 has a rougher, busier, more offbeat pulse, a burly, uneven bark that immediately tells you you're not listening to a Chevy small block. It's got character in a way that's almost impossible to fake. And here's the part that makes gearheads grin. GMC took 2 of those V6 engines and bolted them together at the crankshaft to create the legendary Twin 6, a genuine V12 displacing 702 cubic inches. A 12-cylinder gas engine in a truck in the 1960s. When one of those fires up, it produces a sound that belongs more to a vintage aircraft or a boat than anything with a pickup bed. Modern trucks have almost entirely abandoned this kind of engineering eccentricity. Everything is optimized, refined, and homogenized for efficiency and emissions. Nobody's building a weird big displacement V6 just because it sounds cool anymore. That's exactly why the GMC V6 and its monster V12 cousin deserves recognition. It's the sound of an engineer being allowed to try something different, and it's unforgettable once you've heard it. Number 8. The 1953 Ford F-100 Flathead V8. Now we get to a genuine legend. The 1953 Ford F-100 is one of the most beautiful trucks ever built. That curved windshield, those soft rounded fenders, the chrome grille that looks like it's smiling at you. But this truck isn't just here for its looks, it's here for what's under the hood. The Ford Flathead V8. This engine changed the world. When Ford introduced the Flathead V8 back in 1932, it was the first affordable mass-produced V8 in history. Suddenly, 8 cylinders weren't just for Cadillacs and the wealthy. A working family could own a V8. By 1953, the Flathead in the F100 displaced 239 cubic inches and in truck tune was rated at around 106 horsepower. That horsepower number sounds tiny today. But forget the number, listen to the engine. The Flathead has a sound unlike any other V8 ever made because it's built completely differently. The valves sit down in the block instead of up in the heads, and the exhaust has to snake its way through passages cast right into the engine block itself. That unusual airflow path gives the Flathead a soft, warm, burbling exhaust note, mellow and rich, almost musical, with none of the sharp edges of a modern motor. Hot rodders fell in love with this sound decades ago, and they never let go. Drop a set of aftermarket heads and dual exhausts on a Flathead, and it sings a low, throaty rumble that instantly transports you to a 1950s drive-in. 1953 was the Flathead's final year in American Fords, before the modern overhead valve Y-block took over. So this truck represents the very end of an era, the last of the Flatheads in the first year of the iconic F100. A modern F150 with its twin-turbo EcoBoost V6 is a technological marvel that would humiliate this old truck in every measurable way. But it will never, ever make a sound this soulful. That's why the Flathead F100 lands at number 8. Number 7. The 1955-1957 Chevrolet Task Force Cameo. In 1955, Chevrolet did two enormous things at once, and both of them are why this truck is on the list. First, they launched the Task Force series, trucks so stylish with such car-like design that they made everything before them look like farm equipment. The crown jewel was the Cameo Carrier, a truck with a smooth slab-sided bed made of fiberglass wrapped in two-tone paint and chrome. It was a pickup that looked like it belonged at a country club. But the second thing Chevy did in 1955 is the reason this truck truly matters. They introduced the small block V8, starting at 265 cubic inches. This engine is arguably the most important American engine ever built, and its descendants powered Chevrolets for over half a century. And right from the very beginning, it sounded fantastic. The Chevy small block has a crisp, eager, free-revving character that the older Flatheads and Sixes simply couldn't match. Where the Flathead burbles, the small block barks. It's lighter, it breathes better, and it loves to climb through the rev range with a rising, purposeful snarl. Put that brand new for 1955 V8 in a truck as gorgeous as the Cameo, and you've got a machine that looks like a show car and sounds like the future arriving. There's a brightness to the exhaust note, a willingness that makes it feel alive. You can hear the potential, the same basic architecture that would go on to power Corvettes and muscle cars for generations. This is the sound of American performance being born inside a pickup truck. Today's Silverado is faster, safer, and more capable in every way, but it's also numb by comparison, engineered to be as quiet as a luxury sedan. The Task Force Cameo represents the exact moment the small block legend began, and hearing that early V8 rip through a set of pipes is like listening to the opening notes of a song that never stopped playing. That's a solid number 7. Number 6. The Ford F-Series 460 Big Block. Let's talk about sheer brute displacement. Somewhere in the late 1960s and through the 1970s, Ford started stuffing genuinely enormous engines into its trucks. And near the top of the food chain sat the 460, a member of Ford's 385 series big block family, displacing a colossal 7.5 liters. This engine was never about high revving finesse. The 460 was about torque, great, tectonic waves of it, the kind that lets a truck drag a loaded trailer up a mountain grade like the hill isn't even there. And an engine built to move that much air and fuel at low RPM makes a very particular sound. Deep, slow, and absolutely massive when a 460-powered F250 or F350 rumbles to life. The idle alone commands respect. It's a heavy, deliberate lope, each cylinder firing with real authority. Flip the throttle and you get this bottomless, cavernous roar. Not a scream, but a bellow, like something large and unbothered clearing its throat. Through a set of true dual exhausts, a big 460 produces one of the most satisfying low-frequency rumbles in the entire truck world. There's something honest about that sound. It tells you exactly what the engine is: big, simple, and immensely strong. No turbocharger spooling, no direct injection tick, no 8-speed transmission hunting for the perfect gear. Just a giant carbureted V8 breathing deep and pushing hard. Modern heavy-duty Fords make the old 460 look almost quaint on paper. A current Super Duty gas V8 or the Power Stroke diesel absolutely dwarfs it in horsepower, torque, and towing capacity. But those engines are muffled, refined, and computer-managed into near silence at cruise. The 460 never apologized for what it was. It filled the whole neighborhood with sound and left a smile on everyone who heard it. For pure big block thunder in a working Ford, the 460 earns number 6. Number 5. The 1967-1972 Chevrolet C10. Now we've reached the truck that half the internet dreams about restoring. The 1967 to 1972 Chevrolet 2A, the generation Chevy called the Action Line, is, for a lot of enthusiasts, the single most beautiful pickup ever designed. Clean lines, that perfect stance, a cab that looks right from every angle. These trucks are the darlings of the entire custom scene, and prices have gone through the roof. But we're here for the sound, and the Cainton delivers in the best possible way. Because this is the truck that made the Chevy small block V8 a household voice. Buyers could get a base inline 6, but the ones people fell in love with had a V8, and by 1969, Chevy dropped a 350 small block into the lineup that, in the right trim, was rated as high as 255 horsepower with a healthy 350 pound-feet of torque. The 350 small block might be the most recognizable engine note in American history. That smooth, confident V8 rumble at idle, the way it settles into a mellow, even beat and then hardens into a snarl when you get on it. It's the sound that plays in the background of 1,000 movies, the sound of a Saturday cruise, the sound most people picture when they simply imagine a V8. And because the Cainton is such a light, simple truck, that engine gets to be the star. There's no layers of sound deadening, burying the note, no active exhaust valves faking the character. Just an honest small block breathing through a set of headers and pipes, filling the cab with that unmistakable Chevy voice. This is the truck that proves my whole point better than almost any other. A modern Silverado is quieter, faster, and infinitely more comfortable. But drivers spend real money to make new trucks sound like this old one, not the other way around. The 10th small block is the benchmark everything else is measured against. That easily earns it number 5. Number 4. The 1967-1977 Ford F-250 Highboy. If the Cainton is the pretty one, the Ford F-250 Highboy is the tough one. The truck that looks like it could climb a mountain and then pull the mountain home behind it. Highboy was never an official Ford name. It's a nickname enthusiasts gave these four-wheel drive F-250s because of their unusually tall ride height, which came from a divorce transfer case setup that lifted the whole truck up on its frame. The result is a stance that's still iconic decades later, but it's what's under the hood that puts it here. These trucks could be ordered with Ford's FE Series big block V8, most famously the 390, a 6.4-liter V8, along with its smaller 360 sibling. The FE engine family is one of Ford's all-time greats, and it has a sound that's distinctly its own. An FE big block doesn't sound quite like a Chevy. It's got a deeper, more mechanical, slightly raw growl, a rugged, no-nonsense rumble that matches the truck's whole personality. Where the small block Chevy is smooth and eager, the FE feels heavier and more serious, like it's got weight behind every combustion pulse. Sitting up high on those tall axles, breathing through a set of pipes, a 390-powered Highboy produces a sound that's pure vintage Ford muscle. There's a reason these trucks have become some of the most collectible classic Fords on the market. They combine that tough, jacked-up 4x4 look with a genuinely charismatic engine note. The whole package just works. It looks mean, and it sounds exactly as mean as it looks. A modern Ford Tremor or Raptor R will outclimb, outtow, and outrun a Highboy without breaking a sweat, and their engines are engineering masterpieces. But they're also filtered through decades of refinement and noise regulation. The Highboy's FE Big Block is analog, honest, and full of grit. It's the sound of a truck that was built before quiet was ever part of the spec sheet. That's a strong number 4. Number 3. The 1970-1972 Chevrolet and GMC 454 Big Block. Now the volume goes up. We've reached the mighty 454, Chevrolet's 7.4-liter Mark IV Big Block V8, one of the most legendary engines the company ever produced. It debuted in 1970, first making headlines in cars like the Corvette and the Chevelle, where the rare high-compression LS6 version made a monstrous 450 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque in muscle cartoon. But the 454's most enduring home turned out to be trucks. Chevy and GMC dropped this big block into their CK pickups, Suburbans, and heavy-duty haulers, and it stayed in the lineup in various forms all the way past the year 2000. In truck tune, it was detuned for durability and low-end grunt rather than headline horsepower. But that only made it better at the one thing we care about here, making a glorious noise. A 454 has a sound that's simply bigger than a small block. Everything about it is larger: the bore, the stroke, the sheer volume of air and fuel moving through it. At idle, it produces this deep, heavy, thumping rumble that you feel in your sternum. Get into the throttle and it opens up into a wall of torque-laden thunder, a sound that's less sports car and more force of nature. There's a physicality to a big block that a modern engine just can't replicate. When a 454 pulls hard, the whole truck seems to hunker down and heave forward on a tidal wave of low-end grunt, and the exhaust note swells to match. It's the sound of American excess in the best possible way, an engine that answered every question with more displacement. Chevrolet eventually retired the big block truck engine in favor of smaller, more efficient V8s and diesels. The modern Duramax and the Vortec V8s that replaced it are cleaner, more powerful, and far more refined. But nothing coming out of GM today makes that huge chest-thumping big block roar. The 454 is the sound of no replacement for displacement made real, and it thunders its way to number 3. Number 2. The 1989-1993 Dodge Ram, first-gen Cummins. Time for something completely different and completely unforgettable. In 1989, Dodge was in trouble. Its trucks were dated, and Ford and GM were beating it badly in the heavy-duty diesel game. So Dodge made a decision that changed the pickup world forever. It partnered with Cummins, a company famous for industrial and agricultural engines, and dropped a 5.9-liter inline-six turbo diesel into its D250 and D350 trucks. This is the legendary 12-valve Cummins, the 6BT, and it was unlike anything else in a pickup. While Ford and GM were using diesel V8s, Cummins gave Dodge a big, simple cast-iron inline-six with a turbocharger and direct injection. On paper, it made 160 horsepower, but the number that mattered was 400 pound-feet of torque, a best-in-class figure that let it outpull its rivals. Here's why it's this high on the list. The 12-valve Cummins makes a sound no gas engine on earth can imitate. It's that unmistakable diesel clatter, a hard, rhythmic, mechanical knock at idle that sounds like a bag of hammers in the best possible way. Old-school diesel guys lovingly call it the clatter or the Cummins knock, and it's music to their ears. This engine doesn't even use glow plugs like a typical diesel. It relies on a grid heater to start in the cold, part of what makes it so brutally simple and durable. That inline-six architecture gives it a smoothness underneath the clatter, and when the turbo spools up under load, you get that classic diesel whistle layered on top of the knock. It's an industrial symphony, the sound of an engine that was originally built to work in tractors and generators, casually strolling into the pickup world and rewriting the rules. These trucks are legendary for running hundreds of thousands of miles, and the engine is so beloved that people yank it out of rusted-out trucks and swap it into everything imaginable. Modern diesels are quieter, cleaner, and buried under so much emissions equipment you can barely hear them idle. The first-gen Cummins wore its clatter with pride. It's raw, it's mechanical, and it's absolutely iconic. A clear number 2. Number 1. The 1978-1979 Dodge Lil Red Express. And here it is, the number 1 truck that sounds better than anything modern. And honestly, it isn't close. The 1978 Dodge Lil Red Express isn't just a great-sounding truck. It's a truck that was practically built around its sound. And the story of how it happened is one of the greatest loopholes in automotive history. By the late 1970s, strict emissions and fuel economy rules had strangled American performance. Muscle cars were dead or dying, choked by catalytic converters and detuned engines. But Dodge's engineers noticed something buried in the regulations. Certain light trucks over a specific weight rating were exempt from some of the toughest emissions requirements, so they built a truck that took full advantage of it. They started with a short wheelbase, done 50 pickup, and installed a specially prepared 360 cubic inch V8, an engine derived from Dodge's police spec motor. Tuned as if smog rules didn't exist. It made around 225 horsepower, which doesn't sound like much until you realize that in 1978, that was enormous. In fact, car and driver testing found the Lille Red Express to be the fastest American-made production vehicle from 0 to 100 miles per hour that year. A pickup truck beating the sports cars. But the sound, oh the sound. Dodge routed that 360's exhaust through Hemi-style mufflers and then straight up through two tall chrome semi-truck-style exhaust stacks mounted right behind the cab, wrapped in perforated heat shields. They looked like they'd been stolen off an 18-wheeler, and they sounded like it too. This truck barks, it snarls, and it blasts its exhaust up and out into the open air with zero shame. There's nothing subtle about it. It's loud, it's proud, and it's dripping with late 70s attitude, right down to the real oak bed trim and canyon red paint. Only 2,188 were built for 1978, which makes an original one a genuine collector's treasure today. And nothing modern comes close to the theater of it. Today's fastest trucks, the 700-plus horsepower monsters, will demolish a Lille Red Express in a straight line. But not one of them will ever fire up, rattle those chrome stacks, and turn every single head in a parking lot the way this little red truck does. It's part muscle car, part big rig, and 100% unforgettable. That's why the Dodge Lille Red Express is our #1. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.